Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Marcia's Eating Chocolate Podcast, brought to you by me, of course. And like and subscribe. That's what every YouTuber says. I just had to repeat it again because every YouTuber says that, and I'm a YouTuber, so I have to say it. Today's episode will be about. Just kidding. I'm gonna give you some hints. The most famous woman in the world is kept here. People go in through a pyramid, and the former kings of France used to live here. Welcome to the largest museum in the world. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about Le Louvre, a museum in Paris. It's a very big museum, in fact, deserving of its own metro station and 2 metro lines, lines 1 and 7 specifically.
From the fortified castle of Philip Auguste to the Grand Louvre envisioned by François Mitterrand in the 1980s, 8 centuries of Parisian history were shaped by the forces of power and art. It was Philip Auguste I who made the location into a strategic point in 1190 in the heart of the capital by building a military fortress encircled by a fortifying wall on the site. Harboring more than 35,000 works spanning more than 60,000 meters square of collections which cover the history of art from antiquity to the middle of the 19th century. The Louvre is the most visited museum in the world. Let's all take a look and discover what is inside the Louvre.
Do you think she's smiling in the photo, and why, if yes?
I think she is smiling because this picture should be drawn at when most people, when they're taking photos, they would smile at. That's the same as somebody is drawing a portrait of him.
Right. Like when you take photos, you have to smile, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, then what would you name the painting?
The Small Smile.
Do you think she's smiling?
Yeah!
Why do you think she's smiling?
Because she looks more smiling than sad.
What do you want to call her?
Smiling girl.
What happened to her?
I think she got good thing and good news.
If you can give her a name, what do you want to name this picture?
Nothing.
What do you think this item does?
I think this item is for measuring weight.
Is for measuring weight?
Like you put the weight on top of that thing and then you can measure it.
Would it be for humans or for animals or for things?
I think it might just be for things.
And what's this for?
Sitting.
It's a chair?
Yeah.
When are you supposed to sit on this?
When you're eating dinner and breakfast and lunch.
Oh. What's this for?
Horseback riding?
It's a horseback riding? What can you use for it? What do you want?
Sit on.
To sit on? When you do what?
When you do what?
So, what do you think this is? Well, some of you say it's a horseback riding, some of you say it's for measurement, and some of you say it's a chair. I'll tell you it's none of these. It's in fact, drum roll. I want a pillow, sorry. It's a pillow, the thing I was drumming on, that's right. This is a stone pillow used in ancient Egypt. Well, why was it used that way? Who would rest their neck on stone? The ancient Egyptians, of course. Well, they believed the head to be the spiritual center of the person, and therefore it needs to be protected. And stone protects the head. So basically, with sleeping, your head is protected from the natural curses. Also, if you die and you get mummified, well, you can take this pillow with you into the mummy coffin. Yeah, that's a pillow.
In this photo is Apollo, the god of the sun. What do you think he's doing? Or What do you think he's holding?
I think he might be holding a crystal or something.
Really? Why do you think he's holding it up to the sky?
Maybe he's...
Chinese New Year? When you have Chinese New Year, what are you going to use those things?
Make something pretty.
To make something
And
pretty?
make food.
Oh, and make food.
I mean, Jonathan is kind of correct on this. It's a storage system used for ancient Egyptian makeup cosmetics. The ancient Egyptians are very big on their makeup. You can see in the ancient Egyptian paintings, they have like eyebrows. I don't know. I don't use them in real life. I don't know what they're called. But they're toxic, storing these things, and they use copper, which is also kind of toxic, to scrape on their eyes. So that's one of the reasons that Egyptians kind of died early. Not a good way to die. Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about ancient Egypt, one of the most traditionalized and interesting historical civilizations in all of history. What is ancient Egypt? Well, it's situated on the Nile River, the longest river in Africa. It's situated in the northeast corner of Africa, and northeast, I mean very northeast. It's at the most northeastern point of Africa. Fun fact, Egypt modern day is the squarest country in the world. How does Egypt survive and grow its farms? That's because the Nile River. Well, the Nile River is the only fertile land in all of Egypt. It's the only habitable land, habitable land, just to an extent, because everything else is just empty desert that is a million degrees and has cracked lands because of droughts, whatever. That's how the Nile River is so important to Egypt. It's the only habitable land and is the only fertile land ever. There's two Egyptian kingdoms, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. No. Upper Egypt is not north of Lower Egypt. Upper Egypt is actually south of Lower Egypt. That's because it's based on the flow of the Nile River, upstream and downstream. Upper Egypt is at the higher end of the Nile River. Ancient Egypt was a civilization founded from around 5,000 years ago to 2,000 years ago. Now, the culture in ancient Egypt is very traditional and unique. First, Egypt believed in some sort of afterlife, so bodies needed to be kept after death. So that's what mummies are for. They use paper to wrap people when they're dead so that they can have fresh bodies in their afterlife. And they keep a lot of their belongings into their sarcophagus, which is like the coffin of a mummy. By the way, animals also get this kind of treatment, even though they probably don't know what they're ongoing. That's a kind of a fun fact. Another thing in ancient Egypt was the gods. There were several gods like Anubis and etc. But there's also Ra, the most important god of the sun. He was the most important Egyptian god. He has a falcon head. Now the last thing is the pyramids. The pyramids were mostly structures for stuff like Egyptian culture, like mummies. Fun fact, there are more pyramids in Sudan than Egypt in the modern day. It's kind of a fun fact, I think about it. What are some of the highlights of the Egyptian Empire? What are some, like, the emperors of the ancient Egyptian times? Well, one of them is Ramses the Great. Ramses II as well, of course, but he was the ancient Egypt's most well-known emperor, and also probably the strongest emperor, and there's not much to say, but he invaded all the way up to Turkey, I believe, which is very far away. He went all the way from Ethiopia to Turkey, up to Israel and Palestine, up to Lebanon and Turkey, and down all the way across the Nile to Ethiopia. So that's the farthest extent of ancient Egypt. Another emperor I would like to talk about in the history of ancient Egypt is Cleopatra. Now, she's probably one of the most well-known emperors as well, so you probably know her, but she married some Roman guys, and she was what incorporated Egypt into ancient Rome. Just a fun fact about her. Yeah, I hope you know something about her now.